Okay, as for the beds, the grow beds in the aquaponics, this broccoli is doing tremendous. Now, I just added the new iron stuff I got day before yesterday. I had it for almost a week, but I've been down because of my back and leg issues. But I just added it, but even so, you can still see the newer growth is nice and green, a lot more vibrant. It's the older growth that's yellowed and showing signs of potassium and iron deficiencies. So hopefully the stuff I put in the other day will have an effect on that, just as I sprayed the stuff for the larvae that are eating my radishes away. You can see here's another dead one down here if I can get around those leaves. So I mean, they destroy it. So there's another dead radish. But I sprayed for them, so hopefully that will take care of them. Some of these radishes down here aren't going to get enough sun anymore. I was hoping they would perk up and grow before the broccoli got big enough. They should have, but the gnats eating away at the roots kept them from growing the way they should have. But the broccoli's looking great, other than a little bit of discoloration from the lack of nutrients, and that's all my fault. The snow peas were looking real good. This one had a couple blooms on it. I'll get around here and see those blooms there. But now they're getting some kind of little burn look to them. I don't know what's causing that. We had a little bit of cold weather the past couple nights, but it wasn't that cold. But the broccoli's doing great. Really happy with it. The cauliflower in the beds is starting to make a comeback. This bed, I still have the issue where it fills up too much. I think I do need to pull the standpipe, cut an inch or so off, and drop it back in just to lower this water level. I don't know if the bed's settled or what's going on, or why it's not draining as early as it should. I think I might have that issue in a couple of the beds now. So I might have to just get some levels out here and see what's going on. There's another radish that the gnat larva destroyed. I was hoping it would make a comeback, but I think part of the issue in this bed was, if you can see how damp and muddy all that is, or muddy looking, it's just breakdown of leaves and other debris from the other plants that were here that didn't get cleaned out as well as I thought it had. Can't do a whole lot of it myself because of my back, but the cauliflower is making a comeback. It's still got the yellowing of the leaves because it hasn't really started taking up much iron. The newer growth down here looks a lot better. Same as with all of them. The red cabbage is looking really good. I'm real happy with it, except for the, there's a, if you can see right there, I don't know how well this thing focuses close up, there's a couple of aphids right there or something. They're over on the kohlrabi as well, so I'm going to have to spray some more neem oil. When I was messing with the lettuce the other day, or yesterday, there was some ladybugs in the lettuce. I came across a couple, so they're managing to survive and stay a little active in here. The cabbage is still doing really good. I'm not sure. Some of it is having some kind of an issue. I think that's it. Either that's from that fungus eating at the leaves, or the gnat larva, or it is a fungus that I'm going to have to check into and see what's going on. I mean, they're still growing great. The centers still look good. I might just have to take away some of those lower leaves, but I hate to do that because they offer the plant support against the ground. So I might just have to wait and see. Like I said, some of that could have been from those larvae eating into the leaves. I don't really know. The turnips, on the other hand, still doing good. Still have that discoloration. And that right there shows you what I'm talking about with those larvae. That's just ridiculous. It's just crazy. But I mean, and then they brush right off, so they're not hanging on or anything. So I think I'm going to have to spray some more of that spray. Try to get the plants a little bit better. It just drives me nuts. I hate planting all this stuff and taking the time and working on it, and then it just, the insects taking over. The squash, on the other hand, boom. It's just going crazy. This past week, the growth on the squash has been just tremendous. I mean, this one has split off in a couple different directions. It's going that way, it's going that way, it's starting to go up the fencing. That one I got up to the fencing the other day, but it's grabbing on and growing on up several more inches on its own there. It's got one bloom that already opens and another couple of blooms on it, so hopefully we will manage to get some good winter squash off this, some butternut and some acorn squash. The kohlrabi is doing pretty good. I messed this leaf up the other day. I knew it wasn't going to do all that great, but it's doing, the kohlrabi is doing good. I had the same issue. I noticed aphids on it lower down and aphids on that stem right there. So yeah, I need to mix up some more neem oil and get out here and spray. Then here, the cucumbers are still coming along. They're climbing on up through. I got them working on going up the fence. I might cut that one squash leaf away. But they're reaching through right there. They reached through and grabbed onto the squash stem back there. So I'm gonna have to cut that one. But that one's coming along. They're looking a little bit better. They've got this almost burn look to some of the older leaves, but the newer growth coming in looks pretty good. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. Maybe we will have January cucumbers. Same thing over here. Cucumbers growing up, doing good. The one iceberg that lived is looking pretty good. There's two more, that one, and then this one over here that are still trying to come back that survived the larva. There's the one radish in this bed that survived it that seems to be doing okay. And then there's the tomato that I'm trying to get the root in here for my brother-in-law. I don't know if this one's even going to do anything. I probably shouldn't have, but it's already rooting. But see, that's what I'd taken a sucker off and I stuck it in and it snapped off. So I just left it in there and moved the same sucker over, which is what this one is. And you can see the roots on that. It's just crazy. So, but that was never going to really do much anyway. And it was buried too deep. It's getting too much moisture to that branch right there. So this one should be rooted by now. I forgot the Tabasco pepper back here that my brother-in-law, sorry about that. The Tabasco pepper cutting that I'd taken off my brother-in-law's plant that is still got green leaves on it. The peppers started to ripen as soon as we cut it away and I brought it over here, which I expected that. I don't really care if they ripen early or produce much flavor. I mean, there's only 3 peppers that were on it. All I really care about is that it roots. So then the eggplant is doing tremendous. Apparently some of the fertilization I did worked out. Forget if they have spines on them. Apparently some of that fertilization worked, because if you can see that bloom right there is dying away and they stay so moist. It's not quite ready to pull off yet completely anyway. Everything stays a little bit damp in here, and once those blooms die they just get moist, so I try to find them and pull them away. But that's another eggplant coming on there, and there's a couple more that are dying back like that. So apparently I did do a little bit. There's one of them right there when I fertilized, and there were already 11 on here. And there's a couple right there. There's another one way back up in there if you can see it. So it's 3, and I can see another one if you can see that 4th one. Actually, I can see 5. So 5 in just that one shot. One angle of looking through. The radishes that are in this bed are starting to make a comeback. This one's getting some size on it. The other ones, at least the greens, are perking up and looking better. So hopefully I will get a few radishes out of this one as well. The tomatoes are still coming up. They're trying to get up where they can get more light, which is good. I probably do need to trim some of these leaves back in a way to give these tomatoes more of a chance. But they're trying. So as long as they keep on trying, I'm going to keep them in this bed. I did plan on eventually cutting this eggplant back a little bit. But right now I'm trying to wait until these outer fruits harvest before I cut it back. And there's so many more blooms coming in on this outer stuff. I just don't know. But I didn't really want to have another bed just for tomatoes. Of course, if I try to pull tomatoes out of here and put them somewhere else, then this whole bed will be nothing but an eggplant. I'm not that big on eggplant. So I have to wait and see. It's just the eggplant being on the south side and getting as big as it did get. I mean, this thing is huge. It's probably almost 4 foot tall, and it's about 4 foot wide by 4 foot wide. So, but the aquaponics is doing tremendous. I'm really, really happy with it.